former Olympic rower is taking on the entire length of the Mississippi River to raise money for an international organization. News 8's Brittany Schmidt has more.
Mark, Englishman John Pritchard wants to raise $1 million for an organization called Right to Play. It is a global organization that educates children through the use of games and sports. So far, he has raised more than $250,000, but Pritchard says the Mississippi Million Challenge is about a lot more than just raising the money.
I used to be a rower.
You could say Englishman John Pritchard has seen his fair share of competition.
I rowed in 2 Olympics and 7 World Championships, and 8 European Championships.
And you could say he has the determination to go after his dreams.
I won a silver in one and some other medals in some of the other competitions. I was very lucky. I was very, very lucky.
But you could also say his next challenge might just give him a heart of gold.
There was this one child, and it always comes down to one child.
John is the United Kingdom's chairman of Right to Play, an international charity which educates about 1.1 million children through sports and games in 26 countries around the world.
They're in all the places that you don't want to be. They're in refugee camps, they're in schools. We're dealing with child soldiers and children with essentially less than nothing.
5 years ago, John and his family visited a school for learning disabled children in West Africa. While he was there, they met a little boy called Richmond who had Down syndrome.
And he was too small to play with the big children. He came over to me and he climbed on my lap and he held me for nearly half an hour, just clung to me. I talked to the teacher afterwards and she said the biggest problem they have in the school is depression. There's just not enough TLC for these children who are essentially abandoned by their parents.
That one simple and honest hug from one little boy changed John's life forever.
And that was the point I decided to do something that would move the needle.
John, along with his good friend Patrick Broughton of Australia, set out to conquer the Mississippi Million Challenge.
The boat that we're rowing in is called Richmond, and I'm going to tell his story up and down the Mississippi.
The rowing pair started their journey August 2nd on Lake Itasca in Minnesota, rowing an average of 30 miles every day.
If I manage to eat 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day, I will only lose another 40 pounds. So it's quite difficult.
Plus, every day on the river is a new challenge in itself.
Regardless of how benign and how supine the river appears to be, every day the river lets you know who's boss.
But along with the challenge comes great reward.
The best thing for me are the people. All along the way we're bumping into people who really are intrigued by what we're doing, who clearly love the Mississippi and are an extraordinarily friendly and helpful group of people.
The Mississippi, when you look at the map of the US, looks like the spine of the country. It looks like the backbone of the country. And when you meet the people up and down the Mississippi, that's exactly what it feels like, people who are just supporting the US.
Although John and Patrick have a long way to go, hoping to make it to New Orleans by October 25th. They are both determined to enjoy the ride.
At the end, I want to have a whole stream of new stories to be able to tell, which I think we've already got a whole string of new stories, so I'm looking forward to that.
I want people to understand how one small disabled child in the middle of Africa can make all of this madness happen.
Pritchard and his team are rowing in 2 identical Victorian skiffs that were specifically made for this challenge. Each boat costs about $30,000 and are made of African mahogany and English oak. At the end of the journey, he may even auction them off to raise more money for the Right to Play organization.
Now, if you'd like to continue to follow Pritchard's journey down the Mississippi River, we have a link to his website on our website, news8000.com.